Yes, we're back with another ride or another episode. Today we have Amrita in the house. She's a young looking nice lady and she's just started her own recruitment company for digital marketing. So if anybody's out there needs somebody, then she's probably the woman to hook you up. But before we get into that, do not forget to press that like, follow, subscribe button and share. Nice to have you here today, Amrita.
It's great to be here.
That's good, that's good. So, why digital marketing?
I think when I was at uni, I did a media degree. So I've always had kind of like a passion for digital marketing. I didn't really want to get and work in the actual industry, if that makes sense. I had the knowledge and the understanding of digital marketing, about media and stuff. So when I actually fell into recruitment, working with another company for about 2 years, and then after doing that, I decided just do your own one, and I started my own one with the knowledge of digital marketing because I've already got that, and that was it really.
So you worked 2 years in digital marketing?
Yeah, I did 2 years in another company.
Okay, that's good. I have to ask you, well, I have to throw this out there rather. You look really young.
Yeah, I'm 26. I just turned 26.
I thought you like mid to late teens at the oldest. Oh.
Nah, I literally just turned 26 2 weeks ago.
Okay. So how does the digital marketing work? If somebody's interested in using your services, what are you actually providing?
So in terms of, there's two elements to it. So you've got the client side, which is the side that actually makes us money. So it's helping clients, because a lot of the times with companies, they could be busy doing all sorts with their business. So actually finding candidates for them could be a struggle, or it could be a longer process that they don't really want to do. So we approach them and ask them if they would want our help to be able to fulfill those vacancies that they've got. And then, if they're happy with it, we sign a contract and we get going with finding the ideal candidates. And then the other side is the candidate side. So if people are looking for jobs in the digital marketing industry, so as a social media manager, marketing manager, we would approach them, or they would apply to the job that I posted, or however it is, and then we'd get them into the interview if they're happy with the actual job, and it just literally goes from there. And then there's a whole process with that, and if everyone's happy, they get the placement, and once the placement's made, that's when we get paid.
How long has the company been around?
So I've literally just set it up properly in, I would say, June, kind of getting the background and everything done. So the branding, the marketing, the name, getting all that sorted. And then today was kind of like the first day in the actual office, doing all the fun stuff and the glamorous stuff in recruitment.
So you're based where?
Canary Wharf.
Okay, that's interesting. Right. And do the clients come to your office, or you just got office for having a location purposes?
I would, obviously, just setting it up, I would want clients to come to the office or for me to go to their office. I think the main reason why I have an office is because when I start hiring for my own company in the future, I want it to kind of be in a premises where everyone's together. So having those foundations now is quite important to me, because I don't want to get halfway through, the journey and then think, oh, now I need an office, and now I need to get everyone into the office and things like that. So I'm kind of just trying to prepare everything now for the future.
Okay. You use the term we at times. Who's we?
Well, it's me, and there is someone like my best friend who's kind of working behind the scenes. She's not very active in terms of the whole business structure and things like that. She's kind of taking a bit of a break, but she wants to kind of get back into it in the next few, I would say, weeks. So with we, it'll be me and her, because we're kind of working on it together, if that makes sense as well.
Do you have a mentor, coach?
I did have a mentor at my previous role, but I think the reason why I went and did it myself was because I wasn't happy with kind of how the recruitment industry is and how the negativity around it is, and what a lot of people do in recruitment, which is why I kind of have just listened to a lot of things. I read a lot of books and follow how other people in the industry who I admire, the way that they do it, are doing recruitment.
You speak about negativity. What kind of negativity?
So I think especially in the UK, when you're recruiting outside of the UK, like America and stuff, it's completely different. But in the UK, the recruitment kind of market has a bad name just because of the way that recruiters behave at times. So with candidates, they will just leave them without any answers, without anything. So say, for example, a candidate is going through the interview process. If a recruiter gets, something saying from the client that they're not interested in this candidate anymore, rather than just explaining that to them that they've moved on the interview process, they kind of just ghost them or leave them, which frustrates a lot of candidates because they don't know where they are, what they're going to be doing. So I think that's why I kind of wanted to change that and make sure that I understood that. And on the client side, the negativity is kind of like high pricing. They just literally care about the sales and things like that. So for me, it's changing that, because in my old previous role, that was basically what I was doing, was just chasing sales and hoping that one of them lands and I get paid.
Are you aiming at a British market or international?
International. I mean, maybe this sounds like too high or too dreamy, but I'm actually hoping to be international, so a global business. So I want to obviously start off in the UK because it's where I'm based, but then go overseas to like America, Canada, Thailand, Europe, kind of where I want the business to go in the future.
Have you thought of having a landing page for all the digital marketing people who can sign up to that, and they can just put their credentials? See, like Fiverr. So you go on there and you say, listen, we're a company, we can get you work. Do you want to sign up, show us your history? And so when you do get a job, you're just matching.
Yeah, I think with what I'm doing currently, like what I was doing from June, was setting all that up. So I've got a website in process, a proper, everything in process, even creating PDFs and kind of slideshows that will just literally help candidates and clients who want to work with us understand more about us. I do eventually want to do podcasts as well, just something different to kind of talk to candidates about their experience within the digital marketing industry, with anything, and obviously with clients to see what their experience is, running a business and do that kind of stuff as well. So just seeing all of that and kind of doing all these things is what I want to do to kind of bring and attract people in, but not just for business, but for other things as well, for collaborations, for, to grow awareness for them as well.
What motivates you?
I think for me, it's just a lot of things motivate me. I think for me, I just want to be financially free. I don't want to have to worry about, where am I going to pay this? How am I going to pay this bill? Can I get that? Can I not get this? Being able to provide for my family. And the biggest motivation is the actual company's named after my granddad, who basically was like my second dad. He passed away, but I've named it after him. So just wanting to make that name big so that everyone across the globe knows the company and knows it's his name, just to get it out there. So that's kind of like the striving, the pushing that is getting me to where I want to get to.
Time-wise, it sounds like you had to put a lot of dedication in. How's that affected your social life?
It does affect it a lot, and I think I've just started in terms of the actual nitty-gritty, like getting clients and reaching out to people, and I know it's going to get a lot more. I'm going to have to sacrifice a lot more time, a lot more my social life and stuff, but at the end of the day, I know that if I am to sacrifice a little bit, maybe a lot today, and then the next 6 months to a year, that potentially the next 5, 6, 10 years of my life will be, much better than what it is now. And that's kind of where I'm like, I don't mind sacrificing, because for me, the way that I see it is, a lot of people say to me is like, there's a risk in starting a business, and there's obviously that sacrifice, but it's like there is a risk in starting the business. It might not be successful in a year's time, which will leave me where I am now, or it could be successful in a year's time, which will change my life completely. So I'd rather take that risk and sacrifice what I need to sacrifice to get to where I potentially could get to or want to get to.
What have you learned about setting up the company and getting to where you are so far that you wish you knew when you had started?
I think I wish I wasn't so naive. I thought it'd be really easy. I think when you're working with a company where everything, sort of the back office end of things and systems and structures and everything's in place, you kind of, and you just have to do, the task that you're given, you kind of forget that there's so much else. Like what I realized is there's a lot of back office stuff in running a business. There's a lot of how am I going to do my marketing, who am I going to hire, what kind of things do I need to look for? What systems do I need in place to help me in the future? How can I automate and monetize and do all these kinds of things? And I think that's something that I wish I had kind of taken into consideration before actually just launching it and deciding, yeah, I'm going to start my company. I wish I'd taken more time to think about that. I think that's one of the biggest things.
You spoke about being naive. Was there any point where you just thought, this is not for me, I shouldn't be doing this? And if so, how did you overcome that?
I think there was at one point where I just kind of thought, I mean, I'll talk about previously in the recruitment agency that I was working with. There was 1 month where I literally went, not even 1 month, it was like 6 months I went without no clients, no money, nothing. Obviously I was getting paid a salary there, but having all that commission stuff I didn't get. And I did kind of think in my head at that point, like, this is too hard. Cold calling, cold emailing can be long and it can be tough and it is a draining business. But for me it was like I had this dedication and this motivation to want more. Like, I knew I could do it. It's just everyone's journey is different. Just because my peers were making a certain amount or were getting somewhere that I wasn't at that time, I literally just kept going. And yeah, once I got out of that stage, I think it's quite temporary, but once I got out of that stage, it was fine.
Normally I ask, what does the future hold for you? But in this case it seems like the future is more than bright.
Yeah.
And stuff. Where are you based? What's the name of the company?
So the company's name is Chan Staffing.
Sorry?
Chan Staffing.
Do you want to spell that for us?
CHAND and then Staffing. And it's based currently at WeWork at 30 Churchill Place in Canary Wharf.
Okay. And do you... so with WeWork, you can rent that office for a period of time.
Yeah, so
and then if you decide it's not suitable, you just...
Yeah, so it's a co-sharing space, so you can rent it. I think they've got like yearly contracts, so you rent them for a year or however long, but then once you're ready to go, you can just obviously not renew that contract, you could just go. Yeah. So that's kind of like with me, once I've got a small team, once it grows a bit more, WeWork doesn't have the capability to have a lot of people in there. So once it gets over a certain number of people, I'm thinking about 20, 30, I will probably then go and get my own company, like place for the company where it could just be for the actual setup of the company.
You've got a real vision there. Wouldn't you encourage people to be working from home?
Yes and no. I mean, I worked from home for a few times. I think everyone's different. For me, I couldn't work from home. It's just because I've got too many distractions. I've got a little dog, for starters, who literally just wants attention all the time. Family. I think for me, it was hard working from home. I prefer the office, but I think people who can work from home, I would say work from home, but also I would say if there is a business that you're thinking of doing, I would say just do it, because I think at the end of the day, as I said before, you don't know what could happen. Yes, there is that risk that you won't be successful, but if you are, that's a bigger reward than anything else.
Well, we wish you well.
Thank you.
We hope that episode enhanced your life. We post an interview every day as well as vlogging on our social media channels. Don't forget to subscribe to get our latest episode.